I'm Jonathan Smalley. I'm the founder and CEO at Yaguara. Across companies of all sizes and stages, one of the biggest things that we think about internally and look to empower our customers around is just that, around customers. A big piece that often is missed out on is kind of this like holistic customer life cycle piece. So top of the funnel, what is our traffic like? How are we generating that? Where is that coming from? To how is that traffic converting? What is not only conversion rate like, but what items are driving purchase? What areas and demographics are driving purchase? And then into basically how many times does this life cycle repeat? What are the leading indicators for an excellent customer? How do we think about not just optimizing first purchase and optimizing, new customer acquisition, but how do we think about building a brand and a product experience that drives high value, engaged, and thoughtful, and ultimately high value customers? Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is an LTV to CAC ratio. What we've seen is that it's important to think about both of these numbers holistically. The first being, again, CAC, not just based on the initial acquisition of that customer, but understanding CAC blended across each order from that customer. So what is our cost not only to initially acquire that customer, but what is our cost for each additional purchase on top of that? From there, understanding the lifetime value comes down to understanding our average order value across customers. How much are they paying us each time? A great indicator of that is our units per order. Are we adding multiple, different SKUs and products to each basket? And then finally, kind of what is the cycle by which each customer is repurchasing? If it's a recurring business model, like a subscription, we might want to consider something like churn. But if we're one-off purchases, then it's really important to understand what drives that repurchase behavior. It's incredibly important when considering our assumptions around LTV that we truly understand customer and their buying cycles. Making assumptions around LTV and then justifying growth, budget, CAC numbers based on assumed LTV. And so one of the best things that you can do there is optimizing each for profitability around each order and each purchase, and what's our acquisition costs per order per customer, and informing not just like how we're thinking about our customer lifetime assumptions, but around our customer value assumptions and how that might be related to cost over time, not just cost up front.